was coming home from a party with one of my girlfriends. There was a lot of distraction and commotion because this guy that was super drunk was trying to kick us and attack us. He wasn't the guy that stole our phone. The metro that came up after the guy had left let people out. This couple came out. The wife was like, "Excuse me, miss, but your phone just got stolen out of your bag from this guy." What? No, that's impossible. I looked down, my purse was open, my phone was gone, and I ran after the guy and I said, "Hey, give me back my phone," in French, and he gave it back to me. YouTube, hello. I tried doing this video a while ago, like 2 days ago, and realized that one, I looked really not that good. Like I just looked tired. Something wasn't right. And then two, I didn't realize it, but my camera wasn't focused correctly. So here I am doing this video again. If it doesn't turn out good, I'm just gonna quit YouTube because anything hard is definitely not worth working for. I'm kidding. Today's video is about things I wish I knew before I moved to Paris, and hopefully this will give you a good idea of what to expect before you're about to move to Paris, because we all have this really cool idea of what it's like, and then we get there and we're like, this is not what I thought it was gonna be like. Number one, you are going to feel lonely. You are really going to feel lonely. So try to make as many friends as possible from the moment that you get to Paris. This was a mistake that I made when I moved here for the second time when I was 21. I moved here for my master's degree in 2019, and I didn't try that hard to make friends because I told myself, well, I've already been here, it's fine, I already know the place. And that was a mistake because I ended up getting really busy with school. Try and make as many friends as possible, because even though Paris is a really big city and there are so many people, it's easy to feel lost in the sea of people and to feel really lonely. Number two, life moves so fast here. I don't know if it's just being in a big city. I've only ever lived in Paris and then really small places for the most part. I've never lived in another big city. Paris, it just feels like things move so fast here. Just be prepared for the speed of things. Days go by really fast, especially with what they call métro, boulot, dodo. Metro, work, sleep. If you're a student or if you're going to move here to work, you will feel like all your life is resumed to is metro, work, and sleep. Metro, work, sleep, metro, work, sleep. So life moves really fast here. Try and find the time to do things for yourself. Meditate at night instead of drinking or watching a series. Read a book instead of watching a movie. Take the time for yourself to really just unwind and not have so much stimulation mentally and physically. Doing sports is really good too. I find that helps me kind of slow down. Number three, French bureaucracy is probably the worst. Granted, I've only ever dealt with American and French bureaucracy, and of the two, I have to say, French bureaucracy, it's like passing through different levels of hell. So be prepared. Try and learn as much bureaucratic and administrative vocabulary as you can before you move to Paris. Know what a dossier is, know what a carte de séjour, a titre de séjour, a date d'expiration, all these things, and that's not even the whole list of words that I wish I had known before I moved to Paris. And I can do a special video like, these are words you need to know when applying to a whatever and getting a thing that's important because you need it to stay in France. A carte de séjour. Things take forever. The other day, I just got my titre de séjour. I applied for it in July, and I got it in January. 6 to 7 months had passed before I finally got the document that allows me to stay in France legally. I was still legal here, but let's just say if I had left during a certain amount of time, I wouldn't have been able to come back. Be prepared. French bureaucracy, the worst, very slow. They still do things by post. They don't always do things online. And when they do things online, it doesn't work. I don't understand. It's very archaic, but that's France. Number four, customer service doesn't exist here. You, the customer, are not always right, and you will never be right. The person that is helping you is always right, so please make sure to give them lots of praise and thanks when someone is going out of their way, even though it's their job to help you. It's just the way it is in France. It's not like how it is in America, or perhaps even in other countries where customer service is really something that is strived for and that makes people, employees, feel good. When you're asking for things from, say, someone that works at the post office, la poste, if you're asking for something from someone that works at one of the metro stations, just make sure to be like, bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur, est-ce que je pourrais s'il vous plaît vous demander un grand service? Je comprends pas du tout ce qui se passe, mais j'aimerais beaucoup votre aide s'il vous plaît. Merci beaucoup, vous êtes très 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 gentil. Merci vraiment, merci infiniment. Be so thankful, really. I promise it will help you. Number 5, you will probably stick out like a sore thumb, even if you try really hard to fit into the Parisian culture or look like a French person. You will always be from your country. There's nothing that can change that, and that's beautiful. Keep that part of your accent, keep that part of your country when you're speaking in French. As my adopted French grandpa says, speaking in a different language with the accent of your country is speaking about other things while speaking of a country, or something like that. I'll have to remember what he actually says because it's quite poetic. Basically, you're always going to be where you're from, and you can try really hard to fit in. Maybe trying harder will just make you look even more like where you're from. For example, I'm literally wearing cowboy boots. These boots are made for dancing, not necessarily for working or for walking, but that's okay. I'm American and I love it. I feel like the harder that you try to fit in, the more you're going to stick out. So just try sticking out and you'll probably fit in a little bit better. And French people, especially women, I've noticed this, they will stare at you in the metro if they think that your outfit is weird. I one time saw this woman in the metro who literally was walking and she saw this lady that was wearing some, I think it was her work clothes. She had these boots on and, you know, splatters of color on her. And this French woman in the metro was walking behind her and she looked at her and she just stopped walking, and for a minute she was like this. It was the funniest thing to see, but also very indicative of sometimes the looks that people get if you're wearing something weird. Don't worry about it, it's fine, just do you. 6 is specialized vocabulary that you don't learn in school. I suggest that whatever thing that you're about to go and do in France, in Paris, you learn about. Whether you're going to school to learn environmental policy, which is what I'm doing, fashion school, to go work for a big marketing firm, I don't know, whatever it is, make sure that you're learning that specialized vocabulary so you're a bit prepared before you get into France. And another thing too, like I said, learning administrative vocabulary will be very helpful for you because French administration is difficult in the first place, and without the vocabulary, it's almost impossible. 7. Your things will get stolen at least once. I had my phone stolen once and almost stolen twice. The first time that my phone got stolen from me, I was 19, I was a sophomore in college, and I was working at a cafe on the Boulevard Saint-Michel, which is really cool, very nice place. It's in the 5th arrondissement. This woman came up to me. I was just working on my computer, right? And I had my phone laying flat on the top of the table, right? Here I am working, right? Okay. This lady comes up and she's all like, bonjour madame, est-ce que je peux vous offrir quelque chose? And I was like, no thanks, I'm good, I don't need anything really. And so she left. The next thing I know, my phone is gone because while she had her piece of paper in front of my face, she had taken my phone off of the table. Be very vigilant. The second time where I almost had my phone stolen, I was coming home from a party with one of my girlfriends. There was a lot of distraction and commotion because this guy that was super drunk was trying to kick us and attack us. He wasn't the guy that stole our phone. The metro that came up after the guy had left let people out. This couple came out. The wife was like, excuse me, miss, but your phone just got stolen out of your bag from this guy. What? No, that's impossible. I looked down, my purse was open, my phone was gone, and I ran after the guy and I said, hey, give me back my phone in French, and he gave it back to me. That's another vocabulary that you're probably gonna wanna know. Donnez-moi mon portable. Or if you want to be less formal, rends-moi mon portable, give it back to me. Donne-moi mon portable, putain, bordel de merde. That's kind of mean. But I also told him, vous allez en enfer. You're going to hell. Good things to know. Your things will get stolen at least once. Be very vigilant. You never know what could happen. Always keep your bag or your purse very secure. Be very aware of your surroundings because Paris is a distracting city, especially if you're going to places where there is a lot of tourism. Pickpocketing is a thing here. There are a lot of pickpocketers. Number 8. You will miss where you're from, even if you don't think that you will. I couldn't wait to leave the United States and get to France. And the minute that I got here, well, I was really excited and really happy, but about a month or 2 months or 3 months after, I was so homesick. And I never thought that that would happen to me because I was obsessed with French for most of my high school and college career. You will miss where you're from, even if you don't think that that's going to happen. Make sure that one, you're surrounding yourself with people that you enjoy being around and people that support you in Paris. And two, make sure that you're keeping up with your family and sharing your experiences with them, because if they're like my family, they've never been to France or they've only been once. Make sure that you are keeping your family in the loop, because I'm sure they're going to be very curious about what's happening in your life and you're probably going to want to share. Even if you think that you're not going to miss where you're from, you will, and that's okay, and that's totally normal, because France and Paris, it's a totally different world. Paris in itself, it's like not even France. Paris is Paris, the rest of France is France, and so it's different. You're going to miss home. That's okay. That is okay, but be prepared for it, because when it hits you, it will hit you hard, very hard. When it happens to you, try not to think so much about all the things that you miss. Instead, try to focus on the really small things that you love about Paris, or the small things that are different, that maybe are areas where you can grow. Think about the experiences that you have had and how you've grown through them, and think about maybe ways that you would like to grow or things that you would like to explore in Paris. I found that those are things that help me get over my homesickness. Number 9. The weather sucks in Paris, but that's not why you came here. I hope that's not why you came here. The weather is ridiculously terrible and bipolar. It was supposed to snow this weekend. It was raining this morning. Now it's kind of sunny, but there are lots of clouds. Be prepared for lots of gray and rainy days. It's just like that in Paris. I don't know why. It can get depressing. On days where it is really gray and gross and yucky, don't stay inside, because that will make your homesickness and your seasonal depression worse. Please try and get outside, do things that make you feel good. Go and be a tourist for a day, because once you've lived here for a while, it's easy to forget that you're living in a place that is actually super cool and super touristic and filled with amazing monuments. Once you get into the métro boulot dodo cycle, it's easy to forget that you're living in a really magical place. The weather sucks. Make sure that you take advantage of everything else that Paris has to offer when weather is not that great. Number 10, this is the last one. You will never be the same again. Living in Paris changes you. There's just something about the different cultures, the weird and wild and wacky experiences that will happen to you, getting your things stolen, meeting people that totally change your life without even expecting them to. Things are different once you've lived in Paris. Sometimes I used to think, oh my God, I'm so sick of Paris. I'm so done with it here. I don't want to be here. And then I go back to the States and I'm like, I miss Paris. I miss it so much. I don't feel like myself here in the States. That's because Paris just has this magnetic pull. It has its own life and its own feeling and its own atmosphere, its own ecosystem and ambiance, and that's so cool. Paris, to me, it's music, it's culture, it's food, it's having 2-hour lunches and 4-hour dinners. It's running into someone totally randomly in a city with over 12 million people, and it's someone that you know and you're running into them. I mean, what? How does that happen? It's a place where magic is bound to happen, and it's a place where challenges are normal, but where miracles are also normal. It's an exceptional place to live. It's an exceptional place to grow. There are a lot of positives about it. There are a lot of negatives, but that's every single place. Come to Paris, live your life, be who you are, bring parts of yourself to this place and share your experiences with other people. You will find that you will never be the same again. Paris has changed me in so many ways that I don't even think I could list, because there's just too many. I feel like I'm more resilient, I'm more cautious, I'm more open, I'm definitely smarter, I feel. I've learned so much just about life and about people and about myself being here. I feel like I'm more resourceful. My French has gotten so much better. I have improved my relationships with my family, which is cool. I didn't think I'd be able to do that being so far away. I'm doing things for myself that feel cool and unique to my own life and my path. Paris has allowed me to do that. Even if I might not live here for the rest of my life, I'm so grateful for the time that I get to spend here and the people that I've met in France and in Paris that have changed my life. Sometimes for the worse, but oftentimes, and in the grand scheme of things, for the better. I hope that you get the chance one day to visit Paris, whether as a tourist or whether you're coming here to study as a student or for work. These are 10 things that I wish that I knew before I moved to Paris. I hope that they open your eyes and shed some light on my own personal experiences and what you may encounter when you move to Paris. If you have any questions, please let me know. I am more than happy to answer them. In the meantime, stay groovy, stay funky, stay true to yourself, like and subscribe, and join me next week perhaps